to add one thing, that the only good thing in my life is that somehow I got shelter of my Guru Maharaj. And somehow Krishna is giving me this opportunity to serve the cows here, serve the devotees. And it's my, good fortune that you have invited. So I'll request, if I make some mistake, please forgive me. I'm like your child, a new person, please forgive me. Hare Krishna. So I'll start. I don't know if you had, I don't know if you heard this where I was, that all the sages have gathered together at Naimisharanya, which is the center of the universe. And very interesting thing is that Srimad Bhagavatam is being spoken for the benefit of humanity. And I was explaining that one time I was passing by and there was one yoga camp which said the same thing, that let's do yoga for the benefit of humanity. And I was just thinking, how are they going to do? Because they were just teaching postures, asanas. But if you read about yoga, yoga has 8 stages. It has yam niyam. I was explaining that how you follow few things, like moral duties, you don't lie, you don't, like how we follow 4 regulative principles. You also follow 4 regulative principles. And then there is asana. Then again, you do postures, and then pranayam to control the mind. And then there is pratyahar, to withdraw senses. But it is so difficult in this material world, especially, like places like New York and all these. Just imagine every minute we are bombarded with something new. How are you going to withdraw your senses? Very, very difficult. That's why Krishna didn't give us this path. So anyway, back to our point, that how center of the universe, sages are there and they are speaking Bhagavatam for the benefit. So this goes to show that how important this book is, and how important it should be in our life. And certainly it is very important book in our movement. Now, I'm not saying that all other books are not important. Like, for example, Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is very important. Krishna speaks about the eternity of the soul. Then he's speaking about spiritual world. But of course, he doesn't expand there, about spiritual world. Then he speaks about how he's controlling the material world, the spiritual world, how he's in everybody's heart and giving knowledge, and sarvasya chaham hridi sanavishto matta smritis jnanam apunam cha. He's telling all these things, and he's giving us path from material world, how we can reach from material world to spiritual world. But then Bhagavatam is more important. Why? Because it gives us the path from material world to spiritual world at length. Like, for example, and not only that, it also gives us examples of different aspirants who have taken this path of bhakti and then were successful and got purified on the way. Like, for example, we'll explain these things. For example, let's take the example of Dhruv Maharaj. Now, we all know that Dhruv Maharaj wanted to sit on the lap of his father, Utpanapad, and then his stepmother, Suruchi, used harsh words. And she said, "You have not taken birth from my womb, so you have to take again to sit here." And then he went to his mother, Suniti, and then she said, "You should look for Vishnu because he is the only well-wisher and our true friend. He will help you." Then he goes to the forest. We are not going into details, but just a quick recap, we can say. And then he goes to the forest. There he meets Narad Muni, and Narad Muni gives him Astang Yoga. Then also he says that you make deity of the clay, and then you chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, And then he started to follow this path, and then he got purified. And when he got darshan of the Lord, he was thinking, I did all this just to acquire a kingdom, But then he got purified and satisfied by darshan of the Lord. So see, this shows us we can relate to it. See, we all have desires, like how Dhruv Maharaj had desire to have a kingdom greater than Brahma. So we all have desires, and we can relate. We can relate to these pastimes. That, but just by following the path, what Srila Prabhupada has given to us, chanting and following 4 regulative principles, association with devotees, we can also be free from these material desires. See how we have this kama sarva kama moksha kama udharati. So whether we have material desires or we don't have material desires, Rivena bhakti yogena. But if we follow the path of bhakti sincerely, seriously, then we can be purified. Then you see another example of let's take example of Bali Maharaj. Now see, Bali Maharaj wanted to become Indra. He wanted to control everyone, but he didn't have that adhikar. So then we know how Vaman Dev interfered, and then he captured with his 2 steps everything, and then there was only 1 step remaining, and then Bali Maharaj said, please keep on my head," and then he was strangled by snakes, and he was rebuked by his family members. He was, in fact, his spiritual master was not happy with him, but one thing we have to see is that he didn't lose his faith. He never lost his faith in dharma, in following dharma, because he knew that Vamandev himself is Krishna, and then if he has come, I have to follow, and serve him. Yeah. So now again we can relate to this pastime, that sometimes we also have difficulties in our life, but then we should not lose our faith. Like I said, he was rebuked by his family members, he was strangled by snakes. So same thing happens with us, and not sometimes, most of the times, we have problems. But then and then sometimes we can lose faith by saying, "Oh Krishna, I have done so much for you. I have kept so many Ekadashi vratas." And sorry, that reminds me. I think today you have Ekadashi there. Do you have Ekadashi? So happy Ekadashi. Great souls you all are following. So we can say we have done so much charity, but here we see Bali Maharaj is not blaming Krishna or losing his faith. He's just continuing with his path of bhakti. And then we see what happens at the end, that he gets a planet where Lord is always with him, and he can see the Lord all the time. So Bhagavatam gives us all these things, so we can have a relationship with Krishna. And this is very important. We can have hopes. We can have, Bhagavatam gives us strength. Bhagavatam also exposes our faults, but not only faults, it does not that, Bhagavatam is showing us faults and then it's discouraging us, but it's encouraging us by giving strength. Like we see, Bhagavatam gives us qualities about Krishna, incarnation about Krishna, his pastimes it gives. Like, see, if we have qualities, if we read Bhagavatam and if we know qualities, then there is more sweetness. There's more sweetness in our relationship. For example, I'll tell you, one of the quality of Krishna, is he's grateful. Now he's grateful, and we know the story that Kauravas once challenged Pandavas to play the gambling match, and then they somehow lost it, to the extent that they had to lose Draupadi also, and that's what Duryodhana was looking for. He always wanted Draupadi, and then we know that how Draupadi was distraught by Dusashan, and then we know that how Draupadi first looked at Bhishma Pitama for help, but Bhishma Pitama couldn't help. Then she looked at all the powerful husbands, but they also couldn't help. Then finally she raised her arms and she said, "Hey Krishna, hey Govinda." Now Acharyas are saying, when she said, "Hey Krishna, hey Govinda," Krishna immediately, his heart melted, and he supplied unlimited sari, to protect her devotee. And also they say that whenever Krishna remembers this, that at the time of distress, she remembered Krishna, his heart melts and he appreciates. So we can again now learn a lesson from this, that how sweet is Krishna, how kind is Krishna, that every time he remembers that Draupadi remembered him at the time of distress, he becomes grateful. Can we imagine this quality of Krishna? Do you think anyone in this material world has this quality? Just imagine, we do something for someone, and then we speak so much that I did this for this person, I did this for this person, and we are also expecting some praises and some gratitude from that person. But here is the opposite. You see, here is the opposite. Here, Krishna is being grateful. Of course, Draupadi is also grateful, but Krishna is grateful that how Draupadi is remembering me. Similarly, when we chant Hare Krishna, Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this name is non-different from Krishna. So when we are chanting this Krishna, Krishna is in front of us. Krishna is appearing for us. And then again, the same principle applies, that he's grateful that we are chanting his name, and then certainly he will protect us. This faith comes when we read these things, and these pastimes, these qualities are all given in Bhagavatam. So that's why Bhagavatam is so important. Now see, there's another quality. That's why I said in the beginning that why I'm sharing all these things, because whenever there is any problem, there is any distress in my life, I immediately remember these things, that how Krishna is promising. Sarv dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja. Krishna is promising that just take shelter of me and I will protect you from all the reactions. So see, the another quality I wanted to share, which Bhagavatam explains, is Krishna is well-wisher of everyone. So see, there's a pastime when Narad Muni goes to see Krishna, and Krishna is in his palace, and there are different palaces, we know. So in one palace, Narad sees that Krishna is behaving like a very good husband, with he's sitting with his wife. Then another palace he goes, and Krishna is sitting and behaving like a proper father. He's taking care of his children. Then in one palace he goes, and Narad Muni sees that Krishna is chanting his Gayatri, and then another palace he goes, he's preparing for the war. And then another palace he goes, and he sees that he's distributing charity. Another palace he's worshipping Brahmanas. Then another palace, he's doing other things. But in one palace, Narad Muni sees, and it's written in Bhagavatam, that he is thinking how to help human beings, how to help every living entity. So this goes to show that how he's a well-wisher of everyone, how he's a true friend. Krishna has so many things, to do, but then in one palace, he's thinking how he can help us. So this gives us again faith, that if something goes wrong in our life, when we have taken shelter of Krishna, it is certainly for our good. We think that this has gone wrong because we are expecting something, but Krishna will give us only that which is good for us. See, there's something called want, and there's something called need. Most of the time we are looking for what we want, but then maybe Krishna is thinking that no, he doesn't need this. It is not good for him. In one chapter, I don't remember now. In one chapter in Bhagavatam, Krishna is speaking like this, that this person is doing tapasya so that he can get some material desire, fulfill his material desire and get some material thing. But I'm not a fool like him. I'm not going to give him this because this is not good for him. So this gives us strength. This gives us faith, that he's our well-wisher and he will always do everything which is good for us. Then another quality I always remember is he's all auspicious. So some people come and they say that my house is not made according to Vastu, or my office is not made according to Vastu. But if we chant Hare Krishna, with full faith that there's no difference between the name and personally Krishna, then there is no problem. And I remember one time, one devotee was explaining this, that somebody told someone that this temple in Juhu, Radha Ras Bihari, is not according to Vastu. How according to Vastu, I guess the face of the deities should be towards east side. I'm not sure, I'm not a Vastu Shastra person, so I don't know, but I heard he was saying like this. So this devotee explained to this Vastu expert that don't worry, because he's Ras Bihari, he's doing Ras. So sometimes he's towards east side, sometimes he's towards west side. he's towards north side, so the Vastu is not going to affect him. So if we chant Hare Krishna, there's no problem. Sometimes people say, oh, I have Mangal Dosh. Sometimes people say, I have Shani, but have faith. If we chant Hare Krishna, everything will be solved. In Bhagavatam, at one place I read that Krishna actually feels hurt, when we are taking shelter of demigods. Of course, now I'm not saying that we should not respect them. Certainly we should respect them, but he's expecting that we should take shelter of Krishna, because what Krishna cannot do, you tell me. Okay, let's understand this way, that Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, Brahma is creating, Vishnu is maintaining, and Lord Shiva is destructing. So who can be a bigger destructor than Lord Shiva? But then we hear in Bhagavatam that when Krishna had come to kill Banasur, who was a devotee of Lord Shiva, then Lord Shiva is also praying to Krishna that please forgive him. So this goes to show again that if we take shelter of Krishna, then we have nothing to worry. And then there's another quality I wanted to share was he's a pleasing talker. He's a very pleasing talker. Like, see now, take the example of Kalia. When he chastised Kalia, so our acharyas are explaining that he told Kalia in this way, my dear king of snakes, please do not be disappointed with me that I had to chastise you, because I had to protect my cows. That's why I had to banish you. Now just tell me, who is such a pleasing talker in this world? Normally when we chastise someone or when we defeat someone, we say like this, oh, how was it? We are puffed up and we say, how was it? Do you want more? Or sometimes people say harsh words, but he's such a pleasing talker. So again, this is such a Bhagavatam gives us this sweetness, so we can have relationship with Krishna. And when we have relationship with Krishna, then only we can chant, then only we can do more devotional service. You see the case of Sukhdev Goswami. Sukhdev Goswami, if you read, he was in the womb for 16 years. Can we imagine this? A big boy, 16 years, big boy in the womb, and he's not coming out. Why was he not coming out? Because acharyas are explaining that he said that it's more nicer in the womb, and less chances of falling down than coming in material world. But he agreed to come out. Why? Because he heard Bhagavatam, and then he thought that it's better to come out, and you have more opportunity to serve than staying in the womb. That's why he came out. So same thing, when we hear Bhagavatam, then we have more opportunity to do devotional service. See, this material world, this material body we have got, to enjoy, to do some service towards Krishna. So let's hear Bhagavatam, and increase our love for Krishna, increase our devotional service for Krishna. That's how only we can. This is the only solution we can save us and save others. So this is one part I wanted to share, that why it's important to read Bhagavatam, why it's important. Also, there are other technical points. I'll not get into it too much, but also Srimad Bhagavatam is the conclusion of Vedanta. Some people say Vedanta, Ved and Ant, Vedas and end of Ved, and Sutra, Sutra means the conclusion of Vedas, is Sutra means in small packed thing, but then this is the explanation of Bhagavatam is explanation of Vedanta Sutra. It only the first verse where Bhagavatam is explaining about that how Krishna is the creator of everything. This is what even Vedas are explaining. And also, why I said that Bhagavatam is the main book, because if you see even Nectar of Devotion, and if you see the last page of Nectar of Devotion, where it's we have the references, Srila Rupa Goswami has taken references from Bhagavatam and made this book. You can see the last page where references are given that some things are picked up from Garud Puran, some things are picked up from Padma Puran, and most of the evidence which Srila Rupa Goswami is given in Nectar of Devotion, is taken from Bhagavatam. So this goes to show again that Bhagavatam is the main book. And now some people may say, what about Chaitanya Charitamrita? Chaitanya Charitamrita is also expansion of Bhagavatam, because here we see how devotees are following what the principles what Krishna has given us. So that is why this is also an expansion. Also, you see Krishna is giving culture in Bhagavatam. We get culture from Bhagavatam. You can see pastimes where when Sudama, Brahman, is coming to see Krishna, then how Krishna is showing us the culture, how he's getting off from his seat and taking care of Brahmanas, worshipping the Brahmanas. Then there's another pastime where when Krishna is seeing Yudhishthira Maharaj, how he's showing us the culture that he's embracing Arjuna because he's the same age. Then other people who are younger than Krishna, they are going down to Krishna, and people, devotees who are elder, Krishna is bowing down to them. So this is a culture, but we don't see nowadays. My Guru Maharaj once was saying that when he was in Mayapur in late 70s and he was traveling, he saw that how everybody in Mayapur had a pot of Tulsi Maharani, they had Tulsi Maharani at their place, and then how ladies were covering their head, and how, in the morning they are sprinkling the floor with water, cleaning it, and covering it with clay, so this is a culture. I mean, just imagine for a New Yorker, it's like out of this world that what is happening. So Bhagavatam gives us this culture. So that's why it's very important to have Bhagavatam center of our life. And then I wanted to share today that why we should hear only from devotees. See, first thing is, let's start with this, that there's something called Shruti and there's something called Smriti. So Shruti are the literatures which are coming directly from Krishna. There is no human element. So if it is coming from Krishna, then there is no fault. That's why some philosophers, they say, no, we will only listen to or read Shrutis, which are understandable because it's not, nothing is added, nothing is subtracted from it. There's no human element, there's no fault in it. So some people consider only Shrutis are important. And some people, they will go for Smritis, also Shruti means Shravanam, so, and Smriti means Smaranam, so Smriti means, that devotees have understood the literature, and because they are very dear to Krishna, they have captured the heart of Krishna, they have conquered the heart of Krishna, with their devotional service. So they get some realizations, and then they add their realizations to make it more sweeter. So like you see first canto, third verse, where Bhagavatam is explaining that already Bhagavatam is a sweet, ripened fruit, and it becomes more sweeter because it is spoken by Sukadeva Goswami. So now he's a devotee, and that's why it's becoming more sweeter, because he's adding his realization. So we see that how important that when we hear from devotees, we hear their realizations, and otherwise there's so much mess. Like I'll explain very funny thing to you all. I'll not mention the name. There is an organization in some part of India, and they claim that they have found out the birth date of Arjuna. They claim like this. So, and when upon asking them, that can you please explain how have you got the birth date of Arjuna? So they are explaining one verse where, Sanskrit says Cha Arjuna. So Cha means and Arjuna, and some other part before this in the verse. So they say, and see how they mess up with the verses. They are saying Char and June. Like, see, the verse is Cha Arjuna. So what they have done is Cha, and they have taken R from Arjuna. So it becomes char means 4, and then Juna. So they say this Juna is June. So the birth date of Arjuna is 4th June. So see how they mess up and how they play with the uh, the philosophy or the verses. So that's why it's very important. Then we hear from the devotees. And also Bhagavad Gita says, that evam parampara praptam, that we should hear from devotees because they have heard from their spiritual master, and their spiritual master has heard from their spiritual master, and it's going to Krishna. So it is in parampara that we hear. That is the most important thing. We do not hear from any other person who's not coming in parampara. Like, see now, Sukhdev Goswami spoke Bhagavad Gita to Parikshit Maharaj, and all other sages are there. And then one of the sages is Suta Goswami, who's hearing. And then Suta Goswami is now speaking. So if you go back to history, Suta Goswami is not even a Brahmana. He's a Sut. But he is allowed to speak. Why? Because he has heard from Parikshit Maharaj. You can see. And then who's inviting him? Sonak Rishi. If you read, Sonak Rishi has more than 60,000 disciples, and he's elderly, so suppose according to material standards, he's supposed to sit on Vyasasana, but he's giving chance to Suta Goswami because Suta Goswami has heard from Sukhdev Goswami. If you go back more, the history of Suta Goswami, I'll not go into details, but we know all who's the father of Suta Goswami, Romaharshan. And Romaharshan was giving speaking, and when Lord Balram ji came, so he didn't pay respect, and then Lord Balram ji, killed him by just because he didn't show respect. And it is very important to show respect when elderly people come, especially like Lord Balram. So then all the Brahmanas were saying that we gave him benediction of long life, but now you have killed him. So then Lord Balram said, okay, his son will speak now. I empower his son. The blessing goes to his son. So that's why also this goes to show that we need blessings also from our superiors to speak. That's why we have to hear from devotees who have heard, who have served their spiritual master, who have served their devotees, and they have got blessings. So that's why we should hear. So this is what I wanted to share today. So now I give to you. If you have any comments, you want to add any comments, any questions, I'll try to solve.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so very much. It was a really wonderful class. Very important to hear the Bhagavatam from the devotees. You gave so many reasons, like you say, we can fall in love with Krishna. We can learn the quality of Krishna. We can know Krishna is so merciful. He care about the devotee. He in one palace he was thinking about how can he deliver the human being. How can he do something for us? So it's really beautiful. Thank you so very much.
Not only
Before
that,
I open, go
just
ahead.
wanted to say, that he's so merciful. Now imagine what position Putana got. Although she wanted to kill Krishna, but she became Jagadatri in spiritual world. Can you imagine this? At least we are not like Putana. We are not killing Krishna. Okay, we have some bad qualities, but not that we want to kill Krishna. But if he can deliver Putna, he's saying that he ignores all the bad qualities and sees only good. So see how much hope we get, how much hope, how much strength we get that, okay, we may have some anarthas, but if we follow the path what Srila Prabhupada has given us, then there is perfection for us also waiting.
Totally agree, Prabhu. Thank you. So before I open the floor for the question and answer, I would like to share a few details. If you don't mind, I can just, do the announcement for a couple of minutes. Is that okay? Prabhu.
Yeah, Mataji, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. I'm going to share my screen. All right, hope you are able to see my screen now. All right, so thank you everyone for joining this Bergen County's the Wednesday Sangha program. So every day we have something, another thing going on with our Bergen County spiritual activity. So as you heard from Bhakta Vatsala Prabhu today, Wednesday, this Sunday we are going to listen from His Grace Bhakti Dasa Prabhu. So he is going to come. So please do come to our center. It is in Aparamas. You can get all detail from this website, and if you have any question, you can reach out to us. We can give you more details. Also, we have the weekly Bhakti Diksha program, which occurs every Friday from 7:30 to 9:30. If you are in area and if you would like to get connected, please let us know. Every day we are reading the Bhagavad Gita from 12 to 12:15. If you would like to join, please join the same Zoom link. It is available here. Also, we have the daily morning meditation program, which is the japa chanting, group chanting. So we all get together from 6 to 8 and chant the Maha Mantra. So you are more than welcome. Please use this time to do the Brahma Muhurta chanting. So please join that. Also, if you want the information like Ekadasis and other events and important days, we have the calendar. You can please take advantage of using this calendar. If you have missed any program or any lecture in past, everything is available on this website. You can please visit and, go through and listen to that. Thank you so very much. I'll stop sharing now and I'll open the floor for the question and answer. If anyone have any question, please unmute yourself. You can ask or you can write in the chat box. I can just ask Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Anyone have any question? All right. So Prabhu, I have one question. As always, whenever you give any talk, I have silly questions for you. So I have one question. So, you know what? We read the Bhagavatam every day or, whenever we get time, but it's so hard to remember everything or follow what we read. So we put it in practice, so how can we overcome of that obstacle and, get the full nectar from the Bhagavatam and, apply to the life?
Okay, so if I have understood your question, Mataji, properly, that when you read Bhagavatam, it's very difficult to remember and follow in our life what is being spoken in Bhagavatam. See, Mataji,
Yes,
one
Prabhu.
thing is, first we have to associate with devotees who are following it. Then it becomes very easy. And also we have to read again and again. Like, see, Srila Prabhupada is bombarding again and again. We are not this body, we are the soul. We are not this body, we are the soul. You know why? Because this is material world, and then the tendency of human being is that we forget things very fast. So it's okay. So we have to read again and again. We have to hear again and again. And we have to associate with those devotees who are following it. Then it becomes very easy. Then you will see that these things which you want to put in your life will become a habit. Like, for example, Madhavi, and also, start with small things. Don't go straight to a very high level. Start with small things, small. Then one day you will see that you are able to achieve big things. But let's start with small. Like for example, every day we get up, we should get up early morning. Continue with this early morning, every day. Okay. Put tilak, every day, put tilak. Then this will become a habit. And small things will lead you to a big standard, that, okay, whenever you are in your house or temple, wear dhoti, for ladies, saris, small standards, small things will lead to a big thing. So it's easy, mother. You just associate, read again. And of course, we pray to Krishna that help us to follow what you are saying.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's really helpful. I'm going
It's
to
easy.
follow that from tomorrow. Now, Nimai Karna Prabhu have a question. So his question is, Krishna sometimes performs such a leela where he tastes a lot like a Draupadi. But why at first place Krishna makes his devotees suffer? In this suffering, few devotees give up also.
Beg your pardon, Mataji, the last thing, if I have understood.
Last thing is, in this suffering, some devotees give up. They don't continue with the devotional service.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll try. Why, first of all, these sufferings are coming? This is the question. Yeah. Okay. So if we are talking about Draupadi and all, see, these leelas are happening so that we can relate. We can relate, we can understand that this has happened with them, but they didn't lose their faith, and we have to follow the same principle, like I said, in the case of Bali Maharaj, so we simply follow the instructions of our spiritual master, chant, even if there are problems, this is these leelas are shown for this. Another thing, why people leave, there can be many reasons. One of the reason is that we have lost our faith. We have lost our faith, and again, the principle is that we have to associate with those who have faith. Then we regain our faith, even if we have lost, no problem. But if we associate, we certainly regain. Sometimes our mind says, that, see, another problem is this, that our mind troubles us a lot. For example, if some problem has come and we are really suffering, the mind says, what am I doing with Hare Krishna? I should leave. But do we have another option? Do we have another option? Outside also is not going to help us. So why not just chant while we are going through this phase? And if we chant and if we have taken shelter, and also I want to add one thing, that if a devotee has left, certainly Krishna will get him back. It's just a matter of time. 100% he will come back. We have so many examples. I don't want to mention any name, but certainly the devotee will come back, and he's still under the protection. Like I can just say one thing, like my Gurumaharaja once, he was explaining that he was in the temple, then he left, and this is long time ago when he was not sannyasi, or he was not even a devotee, he just had joined, but then he had left. But wherever he was going, he was either hearing name of Krishna, or he was seeing some devotees. So he was telling us that Krishna was making arrangements that you can leave me, but I will not leave you. This is Krishna's promise that you may leave, but I will not leave you. So, and also, if the devotee has left, like I said, he will come back. Does this help, Mataji, or like?
Yeah, Prabhu, maybe that's the answer you're looking for, but he have one follow-up question, that he said, but then how to focus on chanting when we are in trouble? How attentive chanting is possible in the problems?
Absolutely. I understand, Prabhuji. Your question is very valid, because everybody is going through this problem, that at the time of trouble, how we should attentively chanting when this problem around us on our head. How can we chant? But Prabhuji, I just like to say that just chant. Okay, at that time you're not able to chant attentively, but just chant. And Krishna will certainly appear and help you. Like we say, if you are working somewhere, so we work only weekdays, but we are paid for Saturday and Sunday also. Yeah. So if we are chanting attentively when there is no problem, then Krishna will certainly understand now there is a problem and he is not able to chant attentively. He will take care. Like, like acharyas are explaining that when at the time of death, we are not able to chant properly, but because we have chanted previously attentively, then Krishna will take care. So don't worry, Prabhuji, even if we are not able to chant attentively, just chant. And anyway, you see, another example, when we are sick, we just take the medicine. Do we know how medicine is going to work inside, how molecules are broken up, and then how medicine is gone into this part, that part, and then we are cured. But we just take medicine because doctor is telling us. So same thing, if we have problem, our spiritual master has told us to chant, and then it's his responsibility, and then he will pray to Krishna that he's still chanting, please help him.
Nimai Karuna Prabhu, hope that's answer your question. Yeah, Nimai Karuna Prabhu says, yeah, thank you very much for inspiring.
Anyway, Prabhuji, we cannot understand the potency of Hare Krishna mantra. That's why Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying that you are non-different from your name, but still I don't have interest. Just give me little Shraddha Bindu, he's using the word Shraddha Bindu, that little drop of faith. I have no interest. So we can imagine these problems when stress is coming, but still we chant.
Very carefully, and every day they are worshipping like Guru Maharaj is there. So Amarapuram want to see that, so we all can have the darshan of that room and the paraphernalias of the Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Just Mataji, I'm going to show you, but just Prabhuji, one more thing just came to my mind quickly. If I have not answered you properly, quickly, that we hear the story. You remember the story of Ajamil? And Ajamil at the time of distress, he called his son's name Narayan. Now just imagine, he wasn't calling Narayan. He was calling just his son because he was seeing Yamduta standing. But then who came? Actually, Narayan came. So again, I want to stress on this, that even when problems are coming, just chant Hare Krishna, even if not attentively, properly, sincerely, fine, just chant Hare Krishna and you will see the help will come. Immediately I was thinking that, wow, that's why I was saying that it's so important to read Bhagavatam, because when these problems come, then we remember the past times, we get the strength, so we can remember that how Ajamil remembered Krishna, although he wasn't remembering Krishna, but then Krishna came. Yeah, okay, I'm going to show you now. 1 minute. Here. So I'm sure Mataji has already explained, but I'll just show. This is the bed where His Holiness Karam Swami Maharaj left his spiritual body. So he entered into Samadhi. This is the bed. And this is his table, which we are using for our deities now. There he used to keep his laptop and work. This is his chair. And this is the table where he would keep his deities and worship. And this is his cupboard where his stuff is still there. His bottle is there, his tilak is there, his tilak marks are there, where he would put his leftover tilak. So I invite you all, if you are in India, and if you it happens that you are in Vrindavan, you can all please come to our house and take darshan of his room. Hare Krishna.